Hi, I'm Katie, and we have been owners of an electric vehicle now for 2.5 years. Um, we recently purchased a Kia EV9 wind model, and previously we owned a Kia Soul EV. So, if you're curious about how we might or how you might do a long haul drive in an electric vehicle, I'm here to offer some tips and share our recent journey from Gimli, Manitoba to London, Ontario, where we live. We were visiting some family in Gimli, and we have driven this drive for 2 summers now, both in our EV cars. So we thought, you know what, let's just video blog the way home. So we did, and I thought I'd share it because we have learned so much and we have made all the mistakes and we have figured out the best way for us. So maybe you can gain some tips for yourself if you plan to do like a 2,000 kilometer road trip with your family. We have 2 boys. They are 8 and 10, and we have a dog. So the Kia EV9 upgrade has been amazing for us. We have absolutely loved this new car. It charges much faster than our Kia Soul. It has a bit of a longer range than our Kia Soul and way more space, which has been so lovely. So yeah, the first thing we do when we go on a long haul road trip is plan it out. So there is the a better route planner, ABRP. I've used that a few times, but I honestly don't prefer it because typically we use PlugShare. I really love PlugShare because we can check out all the reviews and make sure that the charger's working before we get there. My biggest tip is plan your route and then double check that the charger is working the day before or the day of your trip. So you can plan 2 weeks ahead, but just because the charger was working 2 weeks ago doesn't always mean it will be the day you travel. That's my big hot tip because last year we got kind of screwed. So this year we stopped. So we planned about a 7-hour driving day over 3 days. And so 7 hours of driving time plus charging time gave us a pretty long day, but it worked out. We ended up stopping about every 2.5 to 3 hours, sometimes less than that, with children who need to go to the bathroom. You'll see that a lot in our video. And to get food. But all in all, this was an amazing trip. We were super lucky with all the chargers. We were well planned. So I thought I'd share how we do that, how I plan it out on PlugShare. PlugShare is an app that you can use on your phone, and it's also a desktop. You can use it on your computer. So I have logged into my account on my computer, plugshare.com, and what it'll allow you to plan a trip directly on the website. So what I've done is I've created each day of our trip and planned out the start and the destination and 2 chargers in between. And so what I do is I see how far that is, and then I block it out. I use Google Maps also to figure out kind of how far is 2.5 hours from our hotel. So we are, and also what chargers are along the way that we can use, and which ones are good. So this year we decided to travel. Ooh, that's a lot of chargers. We decided to travel from, so Gimli is just north of Winnipeg. We traveled down through northern Minnesota, northern Wisconsin, northern Michigan, and down through the peninsula to London, Ontario. We went through Sarnia, Port Huron crossing, and this was a beautiful drive. Nice roads without trucks, except for up this way. But up here was absolutely beautiful along the Great Lakes and then into the prairies. So this is our second day from a hotel in Grand Rapids, Minnesota, and down to another hotel in Manistee, Michigan. We planned to charge twice in Ashland and in Crystal Falls. And to plan a trip, what I did was click on the plan a trip button, and it'll bring up this menu here. And so I put in the hotel address, I put in the next hotel address, and it'll give me this route, recommended route. And what you can do is down here, it'll let you show you all the charging stations along that route. And if I go back to that, okay, that's another option. Yeah, so this one, there's actually not a lot of chargers along this route, so like these are the only ones. But at another route, it would show you a few more options, and you can look at, you can also filter. So I like to filter my chargers by a plug score of over 8. Sometimes you might have to go down to 7 to find some, but you can also bump up your kilowatt. Like I don't want just 50 kilowatt chargers if possible. I want some faster chargers than that. And you can also filter by like other restrooms nearby, but that's not always accurate, I would say. I hide restricted access because it's restricted, and I hide coming soon because I don't need them. I need chargers now. And you can, so those are the main ones I already filter by. So kilowatt range, PlugShare, score, and thought there was another one. Oh yeah, and the charger type. Yeah, so this button over here, overview. First of all, so it'll show you the chargers along the trip. And if we zoom in here, there's actually 2 in Crystal Falls. So this is the one I actually have added to my trip. So if I click on this one, I can still add it to my trip. So that's how I added my chargers. I double checked the reviews in this section. So when this is the charger we wanted to use because it is a 175 kilowatt DC fast charger and it had great reviews. So we decided to use that for our trip. If we had decided to use this one, we can click add to trip and it'll come up right over here in your menu, and you can actually add wait time, so how long you think you might be there. 0.5. There we go. 0.5. Okay, that's better. So total driving hours 7 hours 20 minutes, total time including our charging is 8 hours 20 minutes. So that for us, and it tells you between stops. So that's about the driving time between this hotel in the first stop and then this stop, these 2 chargers. So I find this really helpful, and it saves it in your app. You just I can't seem to plan a trip, like create, like this button over here. Okay, so that's our filters. So this button, plan a new trip, I haven't been able to find it in the app. Maybe it's there? I don't know. Anyway, this is our trip. I really love the PlugShare app. It's so great. Overview will just tell you the stops along the way. I really love elevation. This is really cool. So this is the first hotel we're at, and then it shows you what elevations we're going to be traveling. So how that will affect our range, we have to think about. So if it was all uphill, you know, maybe we want to stop after 2 hours and charge. Our range in the summer is probably 500 kilometers if we're at 100%. But when we're at a DC fast charge, we don't charge to 100%. We only charge to 80, if that. One thing I forgot. It's really important. You need to save your trip. So after you've done all this work, you give it a title, a trip name, and then you click save. And that will save it over here under your trips. And then you can see it in your app on the road. Alrighty. You're probably also wondering, how much did all of this cost? So I'll tell you that up front. It was $120 US for all of our charging, plus our hotels, plus our food, but $120 of charging fees, which is 167 Canadian. So that's how much we paid for driving 2,000 kilometers in our EV. We are starting our 2,000 kilometer journey back to Ontario. We're currently in Gimli, Manitoba, and we're taking our new EV9, Kia EV9 wind model. We have 100% charge, about 540 kilometers of range. We're going to stop and charge in about 3 hours, and we will see how we're doing. All right, we've reached our first charging destination. We are in Warroad, Minnesota. And this is a 50 kilowatt charger, which is a bit slow, but that's okay. We probably only need, it's 275 kilometers to our next destination, which is our hotel for the night. And we're at 37% right now. So we're going to get out of the car, go to the bathroom, find something to eat, and we'll see how we're doing with the charging situation when we get back. We have a Zeph Energy charger here. How's it looking, hun?
So far so good. Just signing in.
Oh, we're using the app. And
all we do is scan. There we go. And then I'm going with yeah, that one.
so we should probably be 30 minutes or 45 minutes here just to get enough Molly, get enough range to get to our hotel. So it's not like we're going up to 100% or anything. We are, I may not even be 80%. We're gonna see what kilometer range we have after we get back from our little break. So we found a great coffee shop with washrooms and a picnic table by a lovely river at Lake of the Woods Coffee Company. While our car charges. We're not getting that great of a output here, 35 kilowatts, which is rather slow. So it has taken us 50 minutes to get to our charge. So our destination is Grand Rapids tonight, and we're 30 miles over how long it'll take us to get to Grand Rapids. So that's a bit of a buffer. We'd like to have a bit more of a buffer. That's about 50 kilometers. So we might sit here. We're at 69%. So 37% when we started, 69% leaving at 35 kilowatts. It's not the fastest charge ever. That's okay. But we had a lovely break, a lunch. We're ready to get back in the car for another 3 hours. And our hotel has a level 2 charger. So we're going to charge overnight and get back up to 100%. We just spent 10 minutes looking for an iPad that went missing. It had fallen between the seats in the back. So we're now at 73%. A little more buffer. That's why you always
Now
continue charging until you're pulling out of the station with kids and a dog. You can get a couple more percent as you're like trying to get in the car. Okay, now I'm sweating. We are finished our day one of driving. We are now in Grand Rapids, Minnesota. We arrived with 20% charge left, actually. Now we're gonna plug into the level 2 charger at the awesome hotel here, the Best Western Plus in Grand Rapids, and get dinner, sleep, and by the morning we should be at 100% so we can hit the road. So we only charged once today, which is great. It was about a total of 6 hours of driving time, but it's now 6:30 in the evening, and we left at around 10 a.m. So it's been a full day of driving with stops and charging, just the once, but good day, good first day. We are starting up day 2 of our drive back to London, Ontario. We are in Grand Rapids, Minnesota, and we're heading to Manistee, Michigan today. So we've got a long drive. We're gonna do probably 2 stops. The Best Western Plus here in Grand Rapids has a level 2 charger that we've used overnight, and we're now at 95% charge, which is saying about 337 miles of range. And yeah, we are gonna stop in Ashland, Wisconsin, and that's about 150 miles from here. So we're gonna top up and then get enough to get to the next station, and we'll update then. It's about 9 a.m. and we're on the road. Okay, we've been driving for 3 hours, 15 minutes, 150 miles. We are at our first charging stop of the day at this Chevrolet GMC dealer that actually is a new station this year, and we were not able to use last year because it wasn't existing. So we are gonna hook up here. It's a 180 kilowatt, actually no, 120 kilowatt charger. So we'll see what we get. We've been averaging about 3.3 miles per kilowatt hour on our last 3-hour trip there, and we're at 54%. So I'm gonna figure out how much we need to get to the next charger. So here's our level 3 charger, and this charger is at a dealership, so there's not much around here to do, except there is a lakefront park across the street. So we're right on Lake Superior here, which is absolutely beautiful. We're going to get some bread and peanut butter out of the car, make some lunch, charge up the car. There are bathrooms across the street at this park, so we're gonna do that, use those, and we'll see. Are we hooked up? Oh, we're just authenticating. Hopefully this works. The reviews on PlugShare are saying that this charger doesn't work at all, and only one of them's working on this. So we're gonna see, fingers crossed, get her hooked up. Are you using the app or the credit card machine?
Gotta use the app.
So this one we have to use the app. It's a bit dodgy on whether or not you have to use the app or a credit card will just tap. So this one you need the app, which is fine for us because we have already charged here. So on the way to Manitoba we charged here, so we know a little bit about how it works.
Thing gearing up.
Got it to start?
Got it to start.
Through the app.
Yeah. Yeah, now you can hear the machine warming up.
Okay.
Charger.
We're gonna take the dog out too. Where are you? Smalley.
What's the max on this? 120?
I think it's 120. So there's 118.
Yeah, so that's about as good as we're gonna get. Probably.
As good as we're gonna get, but that's a whole lot better than 35 yesterday.
Drop it. Drop it.
It helps when you have a 120 kilowatt machine. Thank you, Van Holtzen Chevrolet, for installing this. Thank you. So we just spent 30 minutes charging. We had a nice picnic at the lakefront, and we're already at 91%. So we're gonna stop. It's now at 47 kilowatts. So after 80%, it's really gonna drop the charge. So we don't need to get any more at this point. So I'm gonna press stop, and we're gonna get on the road.
They snuck to the guys
And we'll get to Crystal Falls. We made it to Crystal Falls, and that was 2.5 hours of driving, 2 hours, 37 minutes. We had an average of 3 miles per kilowatt hour, as the elevation was much more hilly in that stretch. That was 132 miles. So we're at 50% of our charge. We are here in Crystal Falls, and this is an XL NLX charger. That is 180 kilowatts.
180. This is gonna be a good one. So remember, this one ramps up real fast.
This is a good one. So we're gonna head into the Crystal Fresh Market. Just a little grocery store with washrooms.
55 cents a kilowatt.
55 cents a kilowatt hour?
Yeah.
Or just
Kilowatt hour.
yeah. US dollars. That's just a credit card swipe, which is sweet. No app required.
Which is the way it should be.
What's that?
Which is the way it should be.
Yes.
So I don't know what kind of technology this one uses, but this one is super quiet. A lot of the other ones hum or buzz or make loud noises. This just turns on and it's super quiet, and away you go. And it's very, very nice.
And what are we getting?
I mean, it's climbing very, very quickly already. We're up to 30.
Okay, so that took 1 minute to get up to 174 kilowatts. That is the max I think we're gonna get here. That's not gonna take long to get us up to at least 80%.
a turtle.
Depending on, we might go up to 90, depending on how long we take to just go to the bathroom and take a break. We've been driving for 2.5 hours. We have another, I think, hour and a half until our hotel. But from this point, we don't have another level 3 charger until after Mackinac. So we need to make sure we have enough to get to, I think it's Gaylord, Michigan. That's tomorrow morning. So our hotel tonight does not have level 2, unfortunately. So we gotta make sure we're planning properly to get to another level 3 charger. So we've been here 15 minutes and we're up to 80%, and we've tanked down to 6 kilowatts. It'll take us forever. That's basically a level 2 charger. So our hotel tonight is another 2 hours and 20 minutes. So we're going to drive a little farther, go to Escanaba, charge up a little more at a 50 kilowatt station. Oh, we're going back up again.
Dad, we're going up.
Okay, hold on. We're back up to 60.
Okay. I still think.
Let's just see what happens.
Sure.
80, 90.
I'm drugged. I can stand outside for a bit.
You're drugged. That means Tom had to find allergy pills because he was desperate. So it's going back up to 1/1. Wow.
Weird.
Well, you know what? we'll just take as much as we can here. And then if we have to stop one more time before tonight, that's okay. So I ran into the grocery store to get a couple more snacks and got up to 91%. So we might not have to stop, but we might anyway, just for the sake of it. All right, we have stopped in Escanaba to test out this brand new charger that does not have any reviews yet on PlugShare. So we didn't want to rely on this one, not knowing if it worked or not. What did you have to do?
I was able to sign in as a guest.
But you had to download the app.
I had to download the app. Yet another stupid app. But it's working. We're getting there.
How much is this one?
49 cents a kilowatt hour.
Okay. So we're just gonna, the objective of this one was just to see if it was working. So we can put a review on PlugShare, really. And that's it, because we need dinner. And there's nothing here to walk to.
That is the downside of this one.
This is the downside.
Beside a highway.
Beside a highway at a GMC dealer. So there's nothing to eat here. So we won't be here long. This is just a test for the next person who wants to use this charger so they know how it works. Just sharing the love on PlugShare. Okay, we have had a very long day of driving. We're now at our hotel in Manistee, Michigan for the night. It's like 8:30 probably by now. But that's an hour ahead of what we were, so we lost an hour today. We got here with like about 56%. So that'll be enough to get us to Mackinac City in the morning. So that's like 190 miles of range. We're just gonna use our trickle charger for the night. Plugged into the wall. Maybe get a couple more miles. Trickle chargers don't do much, but it'll get us a little something. Last day tomorrow. Our hotel is right across the street from Lake Michigan. So beautiful. So we can just get some fresh air after being in the car all day. The hotel is literally like right there. So nice. Hot morning in Manistee, Michigan. We are ready to hit the road to London, Ontario, and we actually got up to 67% on the level 1 trickle charger. So we're at 229 miles now of range. So that wasn't too bad, actually. I think we were plugged in for about 10 hours. Okay, first charging stop of the day is in Gaylord, Michigan. What are we at, Thomas?
14%, 37 miles left. We just did 69.4
No,
miles.
it reset.
Oh, it reset?
It reset when we stopped.
Either way,
Anyway,
got
we were getting about 2.9
miles a kilowatt hour.
miles a kilowatt hour, so not great. It was like 75 miles per
75 mile an hour.
75 mile an hour speed, which is pretty high. So our efficiencies drops.
The neat thing about this car is that once you hit 20%, the battery automatically starts to condition itself for charging. So we're ready to go.
See how it works. This is Electrify America. This should be
I like these ones.
quick charge because it's super fast. Oh, this could go up to 350 kilowatts. I have never heard anybody to get 350 kilowatts. Also, our EV
Already at 95.
cannot get up to 350 kilowatts. What's our max? 220?
220 is the highest we've got. We'll see. That's not the theoretical highest, so we'll see.
Oh, really?
This could get us to all the way to the very, very tippy top.
Oh.
But I mean, battery's got to be in just the right look. Anyway, I think
What's
the
our
car
battery?
manufacturer's over.
5? No.
So it's an
15?
800 volt structure,
Right.
which means that, you know, ideally we should be able to get the 350 kilowatt, but I don't think that it's actually built that way.
I've never heard of anyone getting it.
No.
At least not on an EV9 yet.
176 though, and climbing.
The best we've gotten is 212. Let's see if we can beat it.
Well, I think we're going to. We're already at 195.
So this charger's at an enormous Mayer store. Mayer? I don't know how to say it. I'm Canadian. So we might go in for a minute and get some snacks or lunch. Okay, we finished at Electrify America. How long did that take?
That took 24 minutes and 12 seconds. We had a maximum charge speed of 214 kilowatts.
Ooh.
More importantly, by the time we got out, went to the washroom, bought food, and ate food, it was
Already done charging.
already done charging.
Well, we went up to 80. We only went up to 80%.
Correct, but
Because
the point
it's
is
now-
that we got up to 80% in less
before we
time it
did
took
all of
us
the
to
things we
do our
needed
lunch break,
to do. Because
which is key.
we
Like,
have
that's
children and bathroom needs.
Key. Okay.
Okay. Where are we? What are we doing next?
Oh God, I need a coffee. Coffee time.
We're gonna find coffee for Tom, and
Then
I
one
think
more charge,
then we'll
and
have
then
one
home.
more charge before we get home. We will figure it out on the road. Last charging stop.
Good. I
Woo!
have to go to the washroom.
We have somebody else go to the bathroom.
I hold it in this whole time.
Okay, awesome. We have 113 miles left, 39% charge.
Can you bring me to the
39%
washroom very
left.
quickly?
Yes,
And we need
Stay
Thank
here, Molly.
you.
165 miles to get home. So we don't need too much, but we need some more. So we're going to charge up and be home. It's going to take another almost 3 hours to get home from here. So we can do it. We can do it. Okay, so this is an X Charge level 3 charger. We are going to do this one. We're gonna swipe a card. This one's 49 cents per kilowatt hour, US dollars. Yeah, go see Dad. If I remember correctly, oh golly, this one is heavy. Oh. Oh, okay, that's a really thick cord today. All right, let's see what happens. No app required for this one. That's a good clunk sound. So this one's right beside a Starbucks, which is nice. There's McDonald's, Wendy's across the street, and it's boiling hot out here. So I'm gonna go inside. Okay, this is a 200 kilowatt charger. We are currently at 175 kilowatts. Sweet, this won't take long. By the time we're done in the bathroom, we'll be ready to go. We like these charging stops. Don't we, Teddy? Okay. Okay, we charged for 12 minutes, 43 kilowatt hours, and that cost us 21 US dollars. It's a little bit expensive, I would say, but we have enough to get home.
What you were doing.
We did make it home. on our trip with about 50% charge. It was a great 3-day trip. We would do it again.
Mm-hmm.
We would do it again. It was pretty luxury.
Getting easier every year.
It gets easier with the kids being a little older. Our dog's getting older though. She's 11, and it was quite luxurious in the EV9. So we actually recorded a bonus efficiency chat in the car on our way. So if you'd like to, you can watch that too. Thomas, or Tom.
I like the Thomas. Call me Dr. Lardner.
Okay. What do you find affects the efficiency of the electric vehicle the most? Or all of the things?
All of the things. Okay. So, a strong headwind
Yes.
will absolutely add, 10 to 15%.
Yes, on the way here we had a really strong headwind coming up the Michigan Peninsula, going up towards Mackinac City, and that really decreased our range.
Yes. So the other things is hills will lower the efficiency, but I find not all that much, because every time you go up a hill, you actually typically gain energy again, or either like a really high efficiency to the point where you're gaining energy when you're going down a hill.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what I find does affect it is if your end destination is at a higher elevation or a lower elevation, then the overall efficiency will go up and down. For example, the one that I know very, very well is my trip into Mississauga and Brampton. I will get a better efficiency.
You're going from London, Ontario,
to
Mississauga, and it's mostly uphill.
Correct. So I will get a higher efficiency. No, it's actually mostly downhill from London to
Mississauga.
Right. And then it's uphill on the way back. And I will notice just 1 or 2 points of efficiency on the difference between the two of them, even though the exact same route is the route
same
is the
kilometers.
exact same number of kilometers, exact same roads, exact same route,
but you're not getting the same range.
The elevation difference affects the range. Well, I'm going to talk about efficiency, which has a knock-on effect of range, but you asked about efficiency.
Okay, sure.
So now, the big one, of course, that everybody talks about, or at least in our neck of the woods, is winter driving.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that kills the but affects the winter driving a lot, more than almost anything else, is the winter tires.
Yes.
So we will notice an immediate loss of 20% efficiency.
Yeah.
Once we put on the winter tires, because they're just that much grippier, and it takes that much more energy to overcome the friction, which is the point of them. So that way you don't slip around all that much.
Yeah. So instead of 500 kilometers of range, we're only going to get 400.
Well, I mean, so what's going to happen, again, talking about efficiency, is this car will likely average around, let's say, 3.8 to 4 kilometers per kilowatt hour. And that will this is a brand new car for us, but it'll likely drop down to, 3 to 3.2 just by changing the tires. And of course, that has a knock-on effect on the total range that you can get. But again, just talking about efficiency.
Okay, so now, speed,
absolutely.
Just this trip, this leg of the trip is 75 miles per hour.
So when we were at 55 to 60, we were getting an efficiency, and again, I'm going to do
miles
imperial here. We were getting 3 miles per kilowatt hour. But now that I'm traveling 70 to 75, I'm all the way down to 2.5.
Yeah.
And that's exponential. So the slower you go, it gets exponentially better efficiency. And the faster you go, it's exponentially worse. So if you want to sit there and cruise and do 120 kilometers per hour,
which is 75 miles per hour.
75 miles an hour, your efficiency is going to suck.
Yeah.
So just slow down. Turns out it's safer and better for your car.
Which is also a reason why we picked this route this year. We have done this trip to Manitoba last year too, but we went through Chicago and Minneapolis and all interstate, and it was not great. We didn't like that route, so we picked the northern Michigan, northern Wisconsin, Minnesota route this year. So much nicer. Just no transport trucks, less cars on the road, less speed. What else? Just more scenic.
Way more scenic. I'm not white knuckling it as much when I'm on these roads where there's like 1 to 2 cars every now and again, rather than
shoulder to shoulder with the
interstate
transport.
nonsense, trying to figure out which exit I'm supposed to be in and which lane I need to be in for that exit. Anyway,
plus construction. What else affects efficiency? Did we cover it all?
Sorry, going back to the winter side of things. The last one is the weather, but it's not nearly as much as you think.
The deep cold?
It's got to be deep cold though, right?
Yeah.
Like -10 and the battery's going to be just fine. The heating for the battery won't kick in until at least, lower than -10. And you'll get some of those days in London, Ontario, but not as many as you think.
So let's look at the electricity use in the car right now is 81% drivetrain, 9% climate, 5% electronics, 5% battery care. So that's a lot different than on the way here. Why would that be, Tom?
I suspect it's because it's hotter and the battery is likely
really
cooling
hot
itself.
today.
So it's 31 degrees
31
Celsius out. On the way up, it was 17.
Yeah. So the battery's trying to take care of itself by probably cooling itself right now.
So the battery has a range in which it likes to exist so that it doesn't get as much degradation to it. That's about -10 to I think like 28 or something like that. And as long as it's sitting in those range, it's happy as a clam, and your battery care will be essentially 0.
Yeah, and so our climate is quite high too because it's hot and we need to cool the inside.
Correct.
So that's more. The electronics is 5% because we have
2 children.
2 children with devices hooked up into all sorts of USB-C cords and a Nintendo Switch with an extension cord from the plug in the back to the front. Don't judge us by the number of screens we've let our children watch the last 2 days.
They're quiet.
They're quiet. Everybody's happy. We don't do this normally. Any other efficiency tips? Well, obviously, if you're pulling a trailer, the weight of the vehicle would be an issue.
Weight actually hasn't been a huge.
Really?
No. So we've done it.
If you were towing a trailer, though.
Yeah, but I don't think it's the weight. I think it's the fact that you got to push that much more air.
Oh, more tires on the road.
More tires
on
the road.
More friction.
More air that you got to move, and that's what kills you when you're going fast. Is that because it has to do with surface area, so it's not linear. It's not as a non-linear increase, because you don't push twice as much air. You push 4 times as much air.
Okay.
So yeah, I guess the two big ones that I'd say in general are speed, that you can really control on your day-to-day. So speed, and the last the big one that you control is the speed. And then the other one, just so that nobody's surprised, is the winter tires. It just takes that much more energy to move a car on winter tires.
Yeah.
And the weird thing is that it's the same for gas cars. It's just that you don't notice because of the ubiquity of gas stations. So it's never like you just pull in.
And you don't have like an efficiency.
Correct. It doesn't
showing right in front of you in a gas car.
Yeah.
We have our average efficiency right there. So it's obvious.
So I can do quick head maths to make sure we're going to be okay.
Yeah. All right. That was 9 minutes of efficiency time.